All right, so been a while since I posted any kind of an update, but work has been progressing. Primarily, I've been working on tidying up the boot interior, so I've got some footage of that which I can cut in here. Um, a lot of time spent on the wiring, and that was a chore. Also, did some work on the brake lines. Repainted this front quarter because I wasn't happy with it. So just give you a quick tour of mostly of the wiring here. See, and just cutting in to show the work I did in the boot. Basically made some panels and covered them. Covers up the wiring, covers up the side, flattened out the boot floor with some spacers so it's nice and neat in there. And pretty happy with the way that turned out. Still have access to lower the spare tire should I need to. And yeah, back to the rest of the summary here. Here, see, I have got the brake lines in from front to back of the car, all the way out to each corner. So that's done. Master cylinder in. Looking at the wiring, I think I mentioned that this car had no wiring that hadn't been chewed up by rodents, and all of the switches were toast as well, just from sitting and weathering. So gone with the Speedway 12 circuit generic wiring harness, which was pretty good. Didn't go in with a lot of effort, except for the fact that I was trying to marry it all up with the center console and switches that I've made, but have managed to pretty much get everything working now. So if we go through them, we can see we've got the ignition switch is off now, so you got a number of things that are functional with the ignition switch off. This is the hazard switch, so we can see that those are working. So got hazards, front and back. So hazards are good. Got headlights on this switch, which you can probably see, obviously need to be aimed. And then haven't installed this foot switch for the high beam and low beam yet, but it does work, so happy about that. That'll go in the front corner of this footwell. Turn the lights off. These would be the driving lights. I've wired so that they can come on independently of the headlights. So got driving lights front and back. They also these lights come on when the headlights are on as well, but I've wired it so that the headlights are on. The switch for the driving lights ceases to function. What else have we got? Relocated the horn button down here, so that's off the stock as well, which is all good. So those are the things that work without the ignition on. Put the ignition in the auxiliary position, and we can see that the gauge, maybe we can't, I don't know. Got the USB charger and the voltage gauge there working. Once the accessories are on, then the fan will work. Got the fan speed dialed in, so that gives me good variable speed on that. What else? That's the windshield washer pump, so I haven't wired the engine bay yet. That won't be on. And then this will be for the solenoid to operate the coolant flow through the heater. That is also not wired. These will be brake lights, brake fail light wired into the distribution block in the engine bay, and the ignition light, which will do what ignition lights usually do, come on and go off if the charging system fails. Now if we move this to the run position, then we get our turn signals, which you probably see up there. So we got good operating turn signals on both sides. And that's basically all that stock is doing now, is operating the turn signals. So as far as wiring left, I have connected and tested the wipers, and they work fine. Off this for a second. So the wipers are good. Just need to finish the wiring on those, as well as the brake lights, which I have got the wire to the switch run there. I just need to run one back to the back of the car. Oddly enough, this wiring loom did not come with any wiring provisions for the brakes. So there you go. I've done another coat of paint on the boot lid, which I wasn't happy with, and I've also finished the bonnet. It needs to be buffed out. So once I finish that, ready to get the engine in so that I can finish the engine wiring, but it's all wired into the ignition switch. Should be ready to connect in the engine bay without too much issue. I've already run the wiring there. I have to clean all this up and put in some wire clamps, and then I'll build a panel for the footwell there. There's a nice recess there where the pedal box would have been on a right-hand drive car, so that'll all hide away nicely. And then these remaining wires are just all the ones for the gauges. So I've got a wire for the illumination of the gauges themselves, gauge power, and then right, left turn, and high beam indicator, tach, fuel gauge, water temperature, so that stuff's all there. Yeah, I think that is about it. I had the local trimmer remake this final piece for me. The seats are out at the moment. Got a carpet kit. So once the engine's in and the wiring's finished, I think we're going to be off to the races. And it's obviously not going to get on the road time for this winter, so I have the luxury of some time to take my time and get it all buttoned up. So there you go. That's a bit of an update. 12947 coming along.